Good morning, everybody. It is 8:15 a.m. Big day today. We got PPI and FOMC. Had CPI yesterday. Market continued to move higher. Market's a little nuts. It's been nuts for a while, right? Without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I am a big fan of volume profile, market profile, supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, right? Key levels, fibs, you name it. The name of the game is confluence, right? You want a bunch of indicators, inflection points all lining up. That can probably cause the most pain, and then you probably get yourself a trade on your hands. Um, Welcome to my channel. We use these things to make plans for the day. Use futures and day trade stocks, options, you name it. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take any advice. This is not trading advice. Trading carries risk, right? Get out of the way. Now let's talk about subscribing. Let's keep building. I am back. I had to get called into work yesterday, so that's why you didn't hear from me yesterday, but I am back. Should be back. This should happen infrequently. It just happened to be the second day I was back. However, I am back. So, like I said, subscribe, set an alert. That would be great. Always give me a big thumbs up. That would appreciate that. Appreciate that. If you're new, welcome. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Gonzo719. Also follow me on Instagram. That's Gonzo719 Jersey. All right. Now let's get into. Oh, I don't know if you want me to do that, Rosita. Um, so let's get into the watch list, and I will do that for you, Rosita. I will do that for you. Let's get into the watch list, right? We have news coming out 8:30 a.m. PPI. Let's go right into it. Let's go right into the list. All right, what do we got? Crude up 0.84%, $70 a barrel. I think I saw JP Morgan, I think, expects it to go up to $101 a barrel. China just, I think, had some kind of softening in their economic policy. So, and if that's going to grow, oil should grow. Russell's up 0.52. Silver's up 0.5. Ether's up 0.49. Bitcoin's up 0.48. Bonds are being bought. 30-year bonds up 0.20. ES is up 0.15. Gold's up 0.14. Nasdaq is up 0.14. The VIX is kind of flat. 10-year yield doesn't report to 820. That, however, will go down a little bit. The Dow is down. No surprise here. United Healthcare just came out with costs being a problem for them in the second quarter. So that's the largest holding in the Dow. No surprise there why the Dow is down 0.23. Dollar is down. Okay. So let's move on. Let's go to my favorite stocks I like to trade. AMD. AMD had a conference yesterday, right? Pulled back a little bit, shrugged that off. Amazon's talking about using their chips. That's big for the company. Tesla, it's up 1.81. Been moving along. I saw that they increased one of their prices in the United States. I think it's the Model Y. Coin. I'm watching that today. I'm watching Coin today. So it's up 0.69. All right. And we got some laggards. Google, not much of a laggard. Has some news with some antitrust, I believe, lawsuit, but that's been in litigation for a while, in and out of litigation. Doesn't seem to move the stock much when that happens, but you never know. Baba got behind. Baba too. It's at a key resistance level. Also just hit 200-day moving average and sold off. But we have to see. If it goes back into balance, I will look to possibly short it. All right, but we have to see what goes on with Baba. Moving on. no surprise here. We got Exxon, Upward Energy, Johnson & Johnson, up 0.49. Nothing else. I mean, cat. All right, nothing to speak of here. But we got the laggard is the laggard of the day. United Healthcare. I already talked about that. Healthcare costs going up. Talked about people doing outpatients with knees and hips and all that stuff. All right, moving on. Let's go to sectors. All right, that's sectors. Energy, no surprise, the leader, followed by basic materials, followed by consumer discretionary. That's Amazon and Tesla. Home Depot did say they're going to open up about 80 stores coming up. They've had some kind of a meeting. It's not really skyrocketing the stock too much. What else? Let's go down to the laggard. Healthcare. No surprise, United Healthcare down. That is no surprise. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to some news. Okay. Let's go over this. There's some crowd strikes got initiated at overweight with a price target at 200. Can we get some sympathy plays? Rosita's Datadog, right? Palo Alto, hack in the cybersecurity space, right? AMD we talked about. Amazon using their chips. Meta's price target was raised to 310. I don't know why I'm not seeing this, but I saw today Nvidia has a investors conference today at 11:30 a.m. I talked about United Healthcare. Okay, that's what that is. All right, so let's go over to some news. Okay, we're gonna go over to the economic calendar as well. So let's do that. All right, let's move over to some. We got economic calendar. All right, we can get to that. All right, let's just go to some headlines here. Right, Fed poised to punt rate hike into the summer wind. That's just a pause. There's the Amazon's cloud unit considering AMD chips. There's the antitrust lawsuit with Google. Judge temporarily blocks Microsoft acquisition of Activision. That is still a problem, right? Some other news. Let's see if I wanted to talk about it. That's the Tesla with the Model Y. They didn't raise it that much. United Health Group. That's the cost I was talking about. AMD had a price target raise to 150 from 120. Home Depot had a price target raise from 337 to 349 following open 80 stores over the next 5 years. Of course, we have PPI. We have Lennar reporting earnings. All right. That's really the news. I did see over here that Visa CEO Kelly says the Fed is likely to raise by 25 points. All right, Visa. We'll see if you have any deal with that. Here's the oil demand. It says the IEA oil demand growth is to slow 400,000 barrels per day in 2028, peak before the end of the decade. We forecast the oil supply to rise by 1 million barrels per day in 2024 to 102.3 million barrels per day. 2024 marked the end of the post-pandemic demand recovery, with growth set for 860,000 barrels per day. So oil's been getting a little bit of love. All right, that's kind of it. We'll go back to the economic calendar, and I might even just go to, let's see here. Let's go to economic calendar. Let's see, the PPI forecast is at negative 0.1 for the PPI month over month. Core PPI forecast 0.2, previous 0.2. So really not much change. We can go back over to here to this one. And what time is it? 8:24. Oh, look at Rosa. You're not expecting a pause, huh? I mean, we could always check in with our good FedWatch tool. just to see. Um, let's look at this. I mean, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. There's a 94.2% chance of a pause. 94.2% chance of a pause. So I guess Rosita is saying she's with the 5.8% of a quarter point base rate hike. Is that what you're telling me, Rosita? Are you telling me that? I would not be surprised. I don't believe that there's going to be a hike today. I mean, this is telling me pause. Yes. Well, I've known you to make some crazy bets. So, let's move on. We got 4 minutes. Do you think we can do the daily charts in 4 minutes? We can probably look at the SPY, right? We probably could. All right. All right. So, what are we doing here in the SPY, right? Consolidate, break through, break out, right? Consolidate, break out. That's what the SPY's been doing, right? That's what the SPY has been doing. Let's zoom in here to this last consolidation. So, balance, broke out, held this resistance, and then boom, then we have a gap and hold from yesterday. Okay, gap and hold from yesterday. Let's look at the weeklies. All right, we might have to bring this back. Now, there is, I mean, there's not a really a lot of big levels above us, right? Just have to be honest with what I'm seeing here. Let's look at the monthlies. See, look at that triple top. That's at 458. I'm not saying we go to 458. I'm not saying that, but look at this month. My lord. Okay? My lord. Look at that profile, right? Just so you can see it here. Okay? Consolidation, big time, right? Look at all that. That's the most traded price of the last 30 days, right? 418. What do we do from that? Boom, break out. What do we do here? Consolidate. Right here, right? Boom, break out. Now, this is hourly chart, so we're consolidating again. Do we break out higher today? Do we break out higher? That's the question, right? That is the question. Now, we still have time to look at the cues. Let's do that. Okay. Cues, monster move, consolidation, breakout, right? Little consolidation, pullback, rip higher, consolidate, breakout, right? That's what we're doing here in the cues. That's what we're doing here. A little bit of a doji. Looks like a cross, right? So we opened here, went all the way down to yesterday's high and went back up, right? So this is consolidation, broke out, right? Came all the way back down and then got bought. Okay. Let's look at those weeklies. All right, we have resistance coming up at 369. Okay. Look at those candles. 1, 2, 3, 4 weekly candles here. That is strong resistance. Okay, that is strong resistance. Look at the monthlies. There it is. Okay. We can look at that profile. Look at that consolidation, right? You had 2 weeks consolidated here, then boom. Look what's happening again. Got a nice ascending triangle here. Doesn't really matter. This is a bullish imbalance profile to the upside, right? You could break up, right? Can we break up? All right. Let's look at this news. It's dropping now. guys, let's see what the price is doing. Let's see what the actual news was. Negative 0.3, 0.2. Month over month, negative. Wow. Okay. Let's go back to the charts. We'll break it out. Give me one sec, guys. Just give me one sec. Give me one sec, guys. Just have to deal with something with my daughter real quick. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Let's look about. The market's not really doing much. We're just consolidating up here. All right, let's go back to daily charts because this is, I mean, I could see it's only bullish for the market, right? Let's go right back to those daily charts. I apologize for the delay. Okay. Let's go back to Q's. I was talking about the consolidation, right? Now let's look at the Dow, right? Okay, so the Dow been very strong. So you had that move up. Let's just look at the big picture here. So you have the most traded price here of the last year. We're moving past that. Okay. Pretty strong moves in the Dow. Okay, so we're coming up to this. Yesterday we hit this key resistance level of 343, pulled back, right? Well, the Dow right now is at 342. It's right here. It's at the middle of the range yesterday. Actually, I'm sorry. It's more like the lower end of the range right now. All right, let's look at the weeklies. Oh, Rosita's breaking news. The FOMC is going to move the market today. What would I do without you, Scoop? Um, so 343, you can see, look at that resistance. Look at that. Oof, this is a weekly chart. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unbelievable, right? So this is a key area for the Dow, okay? United Healthcare's news isn't going to do the Dow any favors. You can see it in a monthly as well, okay? 346, 343. Very good overhead supply. There you go, Wien. There you go. She does have some intuition, let me tell you. Because I didn't know the FOMC was today. So thank God she gave us the time, too. But she actually gave us the time of the conference, not the statement. That's true. That's true. All right. So that's the Dow. All right. And it's consolidating too yesterday, right? But the Dow's at, you can see this white line. That means it's a previous high. All right. All right, everybody. Let's go to the triple headed. Let's come on. Let's do it. Let's look at the bond market. What are we doing here? All right. 10-year yield updated. It is down 0.91%, down to 3.8. Okay. Look at that yesterday's move. Boom. Look at that yield rise. Yeah, that would make the dollar go lower, Ian. Look at that big candle, right? Took out 3 days worth of candles, right? But now we're kind of in the middle. Okay, kind of in the middle. Okay, so we have resistance here about 3.8, 3.9, right? So keep an eye on that, right? Let's look at that VIX. VIX is way down there. All right, down in the 14s. Okay. A lot of complacency here, right? So let's go to the dollar. All right, we talked about this doji land, which is nuts. But look at that, right? Look at this move up, and now we're pulling back. And it's pulling back pretty strong right now, right? Let's look at the euro, which we talked about, right, in the futures. There's the euro, right? Look at that plummet, and now look, it's catching a bid, right? Just like we said. Okay, let's move on to my pride and my joy. The market profile, the volume profile. Let's do it. Let's get into it. I don't know. I'm a little pumped up today with this coffee I just had, and I didn't get a lot of sleep. So, that's not what you want, right? You want the futures and market profile, volume profile. All right. So let's look at this market because there's a lot of nuances here in the profile. I know Wien's pretty sharp, but we got Rosa. Rosa's the sharp one today. She's telling us all the scoops. Okay. You need a scoop, she's got you. Now we're gonna look at this. You got a double distribution profile. We're gonna go over. Now I'm sure I'll be very happy if somebody could tell me when I get to it what I'm seeing right off the bat in the overnight session. I have a feeling Wien will know. Can Rosa know though? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Okay? But let's get into it. Let's look at the profile for the last 5 days. We have a double distribution. There's one. There's two. Okay? We're consolidating up here. Okay? Now, most traded price of the week's down here, right? But that's going to move up today. We stay up here, that's going to move up. And what does that mean? That is bullish, folks. That's bullish. That is bullish, boy. So, how do I know that's going to move up? Well, let's go to the real-time trading hours chart, right? Let's look at that profile. Okay. Look at the volume here. See, we have double distribution here too, right? But the overnight is going on. What I'm looking at now, all we need to do is when we open up here, spend a little time, and that's going to move this most traded price of the week, which is 43.55, up here to 44.13. Okay, once that happens, that's bullish. I have to look at this chart, right? I can't go off of what I think the market economy or whatever is doing. I go off the chart. Okay? I go off the chart. This filters me out, okay? Because, like, what's the market doing? You know, I could have feelings, but it doesn't matter, right? So that's what we have there, okay? So that's going to move up. So the key is going to be this level. Can we hold it? Right? Can we hold it? Now here's the other thing. If we can't hold it, and we fall, what happens? Usually the market tends to go back to value. So that would be a little feather in the cap if you think the market should pull back. Okay? All right, now let's look at, well, the most traded price of the month here, I have to mention that, is down there at 4333. Okay? Now let's look at where we are right now in relation to yesterday. Here's yesterday's high. Here's yesterday's low. Okay? Overnight high, overnight low. Okay. Now, price is at 44.19, so we're right there. So, we're holding the higher prices from yesterday. Okay, that is bullish. We're holding the higher prices. Okay, market's not down here, right? It's still here. We closed here. So right now, buyers are in control until they're not. Don't fight it. That's what's happening. Okay. So now this is the chance. This is the chance for Win, Rosa, whoever else is watching this, will be watching me. Does anybody see the confluence that I'm going to bring up that could make the market go lower? I'm not going to give you too much time. Does anybody see it? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 1, 2. Nope, no elephant. 3, 4, 5. All right. We got a weak low. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. We are in supply. That's very obvious. Okay. That's the supply. We are in it. Okay. We are in it. However, the supply has been filled up to the brim. So this supply is almost negated now. It gets weaker. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the confluence here. Now, this is the weak low. This is one of the nuances that I see right off the bat, but you need a seasoned eye to see it right off the bat, okay? So, what do we have? Overnight low. Right there, right? We have inventory. I would say that's about 85% net long. Okay? From the close. This is the longs. Okay, so check that out. That's all long. Okay? So, talk about the confluence. I just said this most traded price of the week will move up to where? Here. What does that line up with? The overnight low. The most traded price of yesterday, which should turn in the most traded price of the week. We also have settlement, the close, which is right here, the close. Do you notice how all those are lining up? That's a weak low. The only reason why I say it's a weak low is because there's multiple inflection points at the same place. Okay? Now, we can go back and just look at every overnight session in real-time session, right? And see a very clear sign. It's called one-time framing. Higher low, 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 higher low. Not one low has been broke. That's very bullish, right? Well, it all comes to an end at some point. So everybody's long, right? Long, 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 right? Lows aren't being taken out. So my big thing today is if we come down here, now don't get me wrong, this could act as support. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying we are going to break it. It's just a part where if we break it, you should see a nice move. If it holds, well, guess what we might likely do? Go higher. And there's a supply zone overhead up here. But that's the nuance that I see, right? And I want to capitalize on that if I get the chance. Okay, because remember, if this most traded price of the week goes here, and it's here, and the market comes down here, and it can't break it, well, guess what? We're going to go higher. That means higher or balance, okay? Everybody on the page, right? Everybody see what I'm talking about, right? Everyone meaning we and Rosa. I hope you see what I'm talking about. And that level's 44.13, okay? Now, let's talk about some scenarios, okay? Let's talk about some scenarios. It's very easy, very, very easy. We'll go with the short scenario. Let's go to our trade plan, all right? So, you already know one of them, right? And I'm going to make it right here. So we're at the midpoint of the overnight session right now, okay? Price is here. What I would like to see, okay? What I would like to see, if you're in the mood for being some type of bear, the bear scenario, if we open up, move up, try to take out this overnight high, and you get some higher lows. Now, if somebody was a little aggressive, somebody could maybe go short up here. However, the market could test this area, okay? And this is the area that I'm talking about, the week low, okay? So this is the line in the sand here for today. If it's defended, we probably go higher. However, if it breaks and you start holding here, well, I definitely can see us hitting yesterday's lows. You have a big demand zone here. Have to see what happens there. This market's still bullish, okay? This doesn't mean bearish, doesn't mean it's going to be all out bearish. This would be the test for the market to see if it could hold this demand zone, okay? I don't know if it gets taken out today. I don't know. We have FOMC, so I got to keep that in mind too. Market probably will be tradable for about an hour, and then it will die. Waiting for what Rosa told us today. I think she said 2:30 p.m. I have to write that down now. Let me write that down, 2:30 p.m., because I didn't know. That's the press conference. 2 p.m. is the statement. Rosa, 2 p.m. is the statement, I believe? Just want to check. I don't have my numbers. I wasn't aware of that. So I'm thanking her for that. All right, so that is that, right? So what do we have below us? Well, we do have some single prints here. Oh, it's Rosita's favorite here. We do have single prints right underneath the demand zone. I don't know, right? But if we come down here, yeah, they're probably going to get cleaned. I don't know, though, right? I said if we came down here and we do get some volume blow through this demand zone, we are cleaning those. And we're going to go down here. Where does this? That's the most traded price of the week currently. What price is that? 43.55. But I don't know, right? That's the scenarios, okay? Let's look at the bullish scenario, right? So we could easily come up, come back down. Like I said, this is the line in the sand for today, guys. If we hold this, I'm not even worried if we do this, boop, but then we recover and start holding it, probably move up to at least the overnight high here, right? Might test this supply zone overhead, okay? Or Today's a big day with FOMC. This is mainly before FOMC, okay? What I'm talking about. Because once FOMC happens, all bets are off of what I'm talking about. Just to be clear. All bets are off. Okay? These supply zones could get taken out easy, technicals will be, you know, little levels won't matter, okay? But that's what I see, okay? If we break this is an opportunity for bulls for a pullback, right? So they possibly could come down here and then lift off again. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the Nasdaq. All right. Double distribution again. Profile. One distribution. Two distribution. Okay. Where's our big levels? Okay. Most traded price of the week. It's probably going to move up too. Okay. What's that level? Currently is 14,669. Okay. Most likely we'll move up here to about 15,100. 15,100. That's probably going to move up today. Okay. Which is bullish. Look at this move up and consolidation. Okay, you want to call that a bull flag, whatever you want to call it. Ascending triangle. All the same crap, right? Whoever likes ascending triangles will call that ascending triangle. Whoever likes the bull flag will call it that. I just look at profile and I just see consolidation after a move up. Most times it's bullish. Whatever makes you trade good, then use it. Okay? Then use it. We are in supply right now. It hasn't been used up fully yet. So we are in supply. Keep that in mind. Okay, but this will move up here today, and that is bullish. Then this will be the line in the sand for the Qs. Okay, that will be the line in the sand. Now, from this day, we have single prints. So, right here, right? Emotional buying, low volume. Okay, so this is setting up a little bit if we get a little weak for the elephant. The toothpick holding up the elephant. Here's the toothpick. Here's the elephant sitting on that toothpick. Okay, if we come down here yesterday's lows, we could go right back down to the most traded price of the month, which is 14,768. Okay, there's the elephant. Thanks for the emoji. That's beautiful. All right, now there's a nuance. Let's open this up a little bit here. There's a nuance again. This one should be easy because you already probably talked about it in the ES, right? I'll give you three seconds for this one. Rosita, can you tell me, is there something you see similar to the ES? Is there something similar? This is going to make me so proud. You can even test me and ask me when the FOMC statement is today. There's a weak low in the Nasdaq. Same setup. Beautiful. They're both in sync. This is what I love about when they're in sync. Okay? Beautiful. Why? Because the most traded price of the week's going to move up here. That's the line in the sand for the Nasdaq. Okay? Most traded price of yesterday. We have yesterday's close. We have the overnight low. See all this confluence? You see that? It's a weak low. Okay? Now, if you look at what's going on right now, yesterday's low, yesterday's high, overnight high, overnight low. We are holding the prices yesterday of the close. Okay? Now, this is bullish. Let's forget bias. This is bullish. I mean, you made a big move up higher and you're holding it. You see the volume here. Okay? Can't dispute that. So the line in the sand again, same as the ES, is the overnight low and yesterday's most traded price in the close, okay? Simple. Simple. If we come down here and we break it and you hold, we're probably going to move down, okay? Now, again, we have FOMC, so this all has to happen probably within the first hour and then see what the FOMC does, right? We could very well do this and come back and balance for FOMC. But you got to respect this week low. It's huge. In both sectors. Okay? In both sectors. Both indexes. All right. Now that you know that, okay, I have to point one thing out. It's both an ES, okay? Whenever you make, now this is, oh man, I didn't see this in the ES. I have to check. Okay, now we have a weak high. I have to point that out too. We have a weak high. Okay, right here. Notice these two highs are equal. Whatever, when that means, when you see a weak high, okay, I want to explain this a little more. This is a very nuanced. This is two overnight highs. Okay? So what does that mean? People are shorting at this point, this exact point. So this makes a move higher a big possibility because it's weak. Okay? Now who shorts at these areas? Not the big boys, the little boys. You think institutions and banks care about overnight highs? No. It's retail. Okay? So that's why I talk about these weak, and this isn't for institutions. Okay? So they're short here and they short it again. So if we come back up here again and knock on that door a third time, it doesn't mean it can't go back down. But a third knock and a push through and a hold can make us move higher. Okay, so now that you know that, we got a weak high, we got a weak low. Okay, this is why I love the profile. This is why I love the profile. Okay, all right, let's get into it. NQ. NQ. Now, just to make sure, and I don't do this a lot, but I believe it when I'm speaking. This is just some feedback about when I talk about a weak high or weak low. Does it make sense? Because I hope I'm not just saying stuff and nobody goes, "Oh, I don't know what he's saying," but I know that. I just hope it makes sense. I'm trying to make sense of it. Okay. Okay. Let's get into. I'll go into the long side first. Okay. We got our two lines in the sand. Okay. Our weak high and our weak low. That's our playground for today. Okay. So this is the line in the sand right here. It's everything, just like in the ES. Okay. That level 100 in the Nasdaq. Okay. So if we come down, and it doesn't matter even if we pierce it a little bit, but then we recover, make lower highs, that could be the move up to this weak high and break it momentarily. And I don't think we do an all-out breakout. We could obviously move up, come back in again, and just balance for FOMC. This is again before FOMC. Okay, that's really what I'm seeing. Okay, let's take the bearish case. Okay, now the bearish case is that weak low again here. Okay, so if you would like to join in that trade or scenario, I'd like to see the market push up. Still got supply here, right? Break the weak high, but then go under it, hold it, make some lower highs, right? And if you get a little aggressive, you know, you could get a little aggressive, but then make that move down. And here's the test right there. If you break it, Maybe look for a pullback here, hold it, and find acceptance below it. We could move down, right? Take some froth off this market. And there is single prints. I don't know if we go all the way down there in the first hour, because then it's going to die and wait for FOMC. But even if we make it somewhere around here, okay, probably get bought up and we balance, okay, waiting for FOMC, okay. That's what I'm looking at today. Okay, that's what I'm looking at today. Rosita, are you still there? This girl's like on the go all the time, so she could be in a car, she could be selling a house right now. Are you there? Because if you're not, I'm gonna probably kill it, because you wanted me to analyze the Google. She is there. She is there. All right. Let's analyze Google together. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this. Now, what I like to look at, obviously, you always want to zoom out, right? So let me see here if I could put another chart up here, guys. All right. So here's one thing, okay? In the monthlies, we had a huge level here, 122.43. You notice how this was kind of a double top in the monthlies, right? So we broke that, came back to it, right? Then pushed up, and kind of came back to it. Okay, so we're consolidating above a major level, but you have some excess here. This would go in the favor of little Rosita. Okay, so you have some selling excess, strong selling excess here. Whenever you get strong selling excess, now remember, the month's not over. That tends to be sometimes a reversal. I mean, look at this excess, excess, excess here, right? And then it came to kind of got some follow through. However, this is in the monthly, okay? If we go to the week, this shows a little bit of a different story, because last week you had big excess, right? However, what did we have here? You have demand that formed right here in the weeklies, pushed up higher, big volume, and now we're consolidating still above this big level. So in a weekly, this is bullish. We're holding these prices. Okay, that is bullish. Let's move on to the dailies. Okay, you're going to see a similar story here. Now, it's made a big move. See, it moved from the most traded price of the year right from this consolidation and busted up. But what are we doing? We're consolidating, right? We're consolidating. Moved up. Let's zoom in on that move. Look at that. Moved up. Now, what Rosita has a little bit in her favor. Look at that sell. That was this day of selling, right? Pretty decent volume here. But still consolidating, right? Look at that buying right here. Okay, and then look at this. This was yesterday on low volume. So that selling's not that strong. And where are we at? We're holding the 20 simple day moving average and the 8 EMA daily. Okay. Now, let's go over to the profile and some gamma levels. Okay. So what do we have in Google? Okay, this is how we zoom in now to the weeks in the month. Okay. This is consolidating. Okay. Look at the profile. You guys know. Look at this profile. Balanced. 122.88 is the most traded price of the last month. Where is the price? Right here, above it. Above it. Okay, what's a key level? 122. That's why I have this level marked here. It's holding it. Look what happened. Look what happened, right? Now, we go one more depth into the volume analysis here. To the equivolumes. Okay. Equivolumes. She's going to show me the biggest volume. Okay, so if we look at this, let's get rid of my handles here. Here's the big volumes here. That is buying volume, right? What happened after that? Selling ensued, got that buying volume, and crushed it, right? Then look, we had more buying volume. Okay? Now look, that big buying volume has held. Okay? Sellers tried to take out this big buying volume but failed. Then you got that push up. This is not big volume here. And then you had selling, which is not really big volume here. Where did it go to? It went right to this level, right? And what have you had here? Consolidation, consolidation. Now you're above the most traded price of the last month. Honestly, it could go either way, but you have a huge gamma level of 125. You need to go above 125. Okay? Below 122 is a win for the bears. Currently, you're above the most traded price of the month. Currently, this week right here, we can zoom in. This is the most traded price of the week, and you're above that. Okay? So currently right now, you're in consolidation. You actually don't want to trade, really initiate trades in this area right here, because it's consolidation. It's a chop fest. So if I looked at this chart today, I wouldn't touch it at all, because it's in the middle of the muddle. Look at that. It's really in the middle of crap. So I would want to see a breakout to 125, hold it to go long. Then I want to see a break below 122, hold it. Okay? Now you notice these other levels on my charts. This signifies last month's highs. Okay? This is last week's highs and lows right here. Okay, so we're still within last week's highs and lows. All right, that was the week before's highs and lows right here. We're still in the middle of that. You see how the balance is? There's no winner. There's no winner in this. It's just balance. There's nobody winning really. So, be honest with you, if we have another week of balance, then it becomes, a candidate for like a straddle, because it could go either way, right? And if you notice here, the IV rank is low. The IV rank is low. You can see it's low here. So to me, the play would really be a straddle, and it could break out higher or lower and you profit. I would like another week of balance. I don't know. Today you have FOMC. So today is a perfect day that you're going to probably break out of this balance today. That's a very good possibility. It's almost guaranteed with this being in balance that you're going to go one way or the other. Okay? So just remember this 125 gamma level. If you get above this, you're probably seeing about 129. Below 122, you're probably seeing 120. And the gamma flip point is 119. So 119 is your probably target for the downside. Okay? So that's my analysis on Google. Not sure if you got something from that, but that's what I see on Google. Please subscribe, set an alert if you haven't already. Hopefully you got something out of what I said today. Always give me a like, it's much appreciated. And of course you got my Instagram and Twitter. Alright everybody. That will be it for me. Yep, they have some EU antitrust, but that there's been Google has been having lawsuits. Or you look up the past news, they've been dealing with a bunch of different lawsuits, and it hasn't really affected the stock too much. So, but we'll have to see. But like I said, this is a candidate for almost a straddle, especially with FOMC today, because you're probably breaking out higher or lower today. Okay. But anyway, we got our plans. You got now a line in the sand clearly in the Nasdaq and the ES. Clearly, that week low is everything today, and the week high in the Nasdaq. Okay, so let's stay patient. You got FOMC at 2:30 is the press conference. Okay, I'm probably not gonna really. I have to. That's when I'm working, so I'm not really gonna be around too much for that. But I'll be around a little bit for the first hour to see if I get one of my trade candidates come through. But I wish everybody luck. If you don't hear from me, I will see everybody tomorrow.